there is a little adventure that I would like to share with you. I wrote a book, and that was around a year ago. And I managed to get in contact with one of the leading editors at the Huffington Post. And they actually gave me a spot in their newsletter to talk about my book, which I was very happy about. So, several months after that, I decided to follow them on Instagram to see what kind of stuff they were posting. And for several months now, I've been getting the most awful shit on my Instagram page. And, I tolerated it. They gave me a spot, so they should give other people a spot too. Until around 2 months ago, I got the idea to make a video about what may possibly be the most insufferable woman I've ever seen. And how did I find out about this story? Well, from the Huffington Post official Instagram page, of course. So this story is a few months old, but I suppose we should watch it together and break down the shit show that unfolds. So, let's play it.
Started dating a celebrity, so I vowed to get revenge, part 1. So, I met a guy, we started dating, things moved really fast, we started spending all our time together, and he even took me to meet his family. And then
Alright, everything sounds good so far. I mean, it's clear that she's had a romp in the A. I don't know why we should know about this.
after 3 months, it completely imploded. I was crushed, and mostly, I think my ego was pretty obliterated.
And so she took a lesson from this and she decided to become a better person, right? She decided that because her ego was humbled, she should learn something more about herself and use her previous experiences to improve herself as a person, to not make the same mistakes in later relationships, right? Like, that's what any sane person would say, but no, then it wouldn't be a story.
Because I had seen myself through his eyes, and at 30 years old, I was living like a teenager.
Well, I suppose that's entirely your fault. If you were living like a teenager at 30 years old, that means that for the past 10 to 15 years, for the past decade and a half, you had either been doing the exact same thing or you were even more underdeveloped, which leads to a lot of people who are actually living like they were their age. So let's say a guy in his early 20s being disappointed when he was paired up with a person like you who had not matured psychologically. So your refusal to move into adulthood not only harmed you, but the people around you. So lovely to hear that. I love how you're making yourself sound like a victim, Holly. That's wonderful. A real refusal to take responsibility there.
And he wanted to be with an adult who had autonomy, who had their own stuff going on. And I just sort of was like wanting him to just figure out my life for me.
I don't think that's a healthy expectation out of any relationship, for the other person to figure out your life for you. I think that's a job that's uniquely, meant for you. I don't know, just my 2 cents.
Not long after, I found out he had already moved on to somebody very famous.
I'm not surprised. It seems like he had his priorities in check and he was looking for a person who had their life together. And a lot of the time, people who have their life together are rich and famous because they have their life together and because they have stuff going on. This is painful to watch as a 19-year-old guy. Just a 30-year-old childless woman going over her troubles. It's terrible.
And the weirdest part was, my dad did a TV theme song, and the person he left me for was an actor on that show.
Don't care.
So, that was just bizarre. I got mad because I felt like I'd been taken on a ride, and I really wanted me. I knew that I was better than what I had shown of myself to him, and so
If you were better than what you've shown of yourself to him, then maybe you should have shown your better side to him. Just an idea, not piss in the soup before you complain about it.
vowed that he would see me, and I thought it was the best way for him to see me. I'm gonna have to get famous now.
No, that's like a very TV childlike scenario that you have conjured up in your head. If you're trying to become famous just for the purpose of getting back at somebody, you're never going to do it, number one, because you're never going to have the motivation to do so or the idea how to do so, because you're just trying to do it for revenge. And number two, that's like not an efficient way of doing it, because if he's already over you, then he's not going to be like, oh my god, she's famous now, I missed out. No, he's just going to be like, oh, good for her. Like any healthy adult. This makes me mad. I'm sorry for being so sardonic and like monotone, but this makes me mad. I hate this video. What a lovely mission, you know, you could go to help the starving children in Rwanda or do a volunteer Christian organization in Uganda, but instead you choose to make yourself famous for the purpose of getting back at somebody. This is the stupidest video I've ever seen, and I just wanted to get a quick video about it out there so that I don't keep procrastinating it. And it's awful. I hate it. See you in the next one. Peace.